Welcome back to Muddy Vibes with Vi. This is Vlogmas episode 4. Today we are talking about extra money in the holiday season. There are holiday themed ways to make money. This could be gift wrapping, decorating for the holiday season, seasonal jobs, also gig work, because some of it does surge around the holidays. You could find that it could perhaps be easier to do a little better during these times of the year in terms of return for your efforts. We're not talking about any of these. I'm sorry. Really just want to stick to what I think I may be able to actually do or would like to eventually try doing. So that is what this video is going to be about. How I plan on making extra money. As we discussed during the savings challenge, that could be one of the ways in which you can make sure that you complete that challenge by finding different ways to make extra money. But as I also talked about, for the most part, it could be a little inconsistent. So again, these are ideas and things that I'd like to explore, but not necessarily hinge life on. So we're going to talk about the money ideas. Nothing novel, nothing extreme, just some simple things I kind of thought about and said, maybe we could try that. Let's go over just the money generating ideas. This could be things like selling gently used items, mystery shopping and testing, retail arbitrage or an online store, part-time job, extra shifts, and selling baked goods. Then let's go a little bit more into the how. For selling old items, that's going to be first thing we're going to talk about. My plan is to sell across multiple platforms: eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Depop, Facebook Marketplace. I am putting the estimate of how much money could potentially be made at about $100 to $500. Again, it's a guess, those numbers at the bottom, not based on fact. I hope to report back the same way when we do our savings challenge recap on how some of these ideas I've tried or haven't tried and my experience with them. But keep in mind that the numbers on the bottom are just my understanding and impression of how much could potentially be made. Okay, next up is going to be mystery shopping and idea testing. Some places I have found but have not had personal experience with is D-Scout, Field Agent, and user testing. I've not tried these, but from what I see online, it is reasonable to expect to make maybe 10 to, I said 100 here, I'm thinking more like 50, 10 to 50 bucks, I think is a little bit more reasonable. Nothing crazy here, but it is possible to generate something, and in a way, every little bit counts. So my next idea would be, I think, the biggest income generator for quick cash. And this is using my current job, as well as part-time work and gig work. So my current job, I currently work as a nurse, just for context. There are opportunities to, whether it's through extra shifts, overtime, and assisting in different capacities to generate a little extra income. The holidays sometimes are kind of hit or miss, but overall, I can use my current job as a means to make a little extra money if the opportunity arises. Another thing I am looking into is either part-time work or getting some sort of promotion so that I could have a higher base pay. Gig work is also something I'm looking into. You could do gig work as a healthcare worker via things like Clipboard Health or Intently Care. I'm not really sure if that's going to be the route I'm going to take. I've done Instacart in the past, and it was a nice way to make a little extra money. However, from my understanding now, that is no longer the case. But there is plenty to explore in that gig work category, and that may be something I'm going to try to do. But like I said, I think it's reasonable to expect an extra maybe $300 or $2,000 from that category. Next up is retail arbitrage. This is one that, from my understanding, seems to have quite a bit of a learning curve. It is something I want to try, and from what I'm seeing people do this via Amazon and eBay, I think it's reasonable for me to expect to make anywhere from $50 to $200. To be honest, I do think this has a bit of a learning curve to start, so I think it's fair to not expect a great amount when trialing this. Again, not sure if I'm going to execute just because of this massive learning curve. Baked goods. There are cottage laws and things that go into effect to protect consumers. And you can't just kind of whip something up in your kitchen and sell it. So again, it's initial cost. It's the time investment of it all that kind of makes me a little hesitant. I've looked up cottage laws for my state as well as commercial kitchens. And from my understanding, it would be a pretty significant initial cost and time investment. For that reason, I put how much can be generated at about $25 to $200. I am not sure that this is a good short-term methodology. So although it is something I may try, I am not sure it's reliable for long term. So main winner, my job. I think that's going to be the best way to kind of make some money short term. Long term, it's better to explore some other categories. I do want to kind of diversify my income in different ways, and I do hope to share how I've done with trying some of these methods, what I have tried and what I was just not able to figure out. Still doing the savings challenge and going from there, so I hope that this kind of ties into nicely completing that. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy and healthy holiday season. I just kind of wanted to do a quick chat with you all. Have a great day. Bye.